is the camera not coming?
You just got a knife.
using the same app, of course along with other apps as well. I think the only difference is that I'm older, more mature, maybe lesser hair now, I'm not sure. Yeah, so one thing I do realize, right, that in this online dating environment, right, is that there's a very huge problem. We were all swiping simply based on looks or appearances. And if let's say you see a profile that is like super good looking, very handsome look, there's a 90% chance, right, that the ladies will actually swipe right on. And it's the same for guys as well. So everybody's actually swiping based on appearances first, and there's very little chance for actual interactions from that. So I realized that I also do get matches these days. I seldom get a few matches once in a while, and when I do get matches, right, most conversations actually they don't start at all. If you all realize that. So even when the conversation starts, it usually dies down within the next 10 lines, for example. And I do realize that these conversations, right, or most of these matches that I have always spoken to, it usually doesn't progress to anything further than just to an actual meetup or even a date. So I think from there, I found myself in this endless loop whereby I'm just consistently swiping, see if I can get matches, and then it's just continuous, and it's actually very exhausting. And I do believe that people who are familiar using these dating apps, they also face the same problems. So from there, I realized that there's actually a better way for us to do things, which is to really adopt the traditional style of dating and then modernizing it into online dating, which became SHIPP. So now, what is SHIPP actually about? SHIPP is a social plus experience company. So we want to be able to enable our users to forge real, genuine, and deeper social connections and experiences, starting with online dating. So we empower our users to better their social plus experiences. Let me get started. So this is actually the team. So as you can see, all of us are avid users of social and dating platforms actually. In fact, two of my members, right, I actually met them via one of the matchmaking apps out there, and we eventually I brought them into the team because we share the same vision and we face the same issues. We want to really tackle them all together. So of course, I'm the team leader for SHIPP, whereby I run business development and strategy as well as the product roadmap, and then we have Stephanie, who's actually in charge of marketing, operations, and UI UX design. We also have Sylvester, who's also doing events and execution. And lastly, Jaga, who is in charge of everything tech, especially from the back end.
But his slides got changed. It's not the old slides.
I think we can. Let's continue first. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see, right, a deeper dive into the online dating market, right, as you can see, it's actually still a growing market. Of course, the growth rate is actually about 5% every year. But I think what's more important to realize is that we are actually, everything is going digital. So there's a lot of digitalization of dating and social experiences, and also consumer behavioral changes. With growing market, right, also comes with growing problems. So some of the problems that I mentioned in my personal story earlier is the fact that a lot of things actually relate to lower quality of interconnectivity, mental wellness issues, and as you can see today, right, there's actually a lot of mimic products out there, and most of them, right, are actually swipe based. Also, there's a lot of scams, bots, and fake profiles. Just on 2021 alone, right, last year, actually the global market, right, they have lost about $541 million just to scams, and actually love scams contributed the most part of it. So these are some of the problems that are still existing today, and many users are still not satisfied. So why I think the swipe-based model isn't really helping the environment, right, is because we are offering a paradox of choice for people, whereby there's so much choice for you to look around and you make your decision so quickly by swiping around, right? Essentially, you are not making a very good decision for yourself, and when there's too much choice, right, you will tend to want to look for the better one all the way. We also have a lot of people feeling fatigued as well as losing their meaning because they have been using these dating apps for a long time and not finding actual results. Also, the very common term, people are judging each other by their books, by the cover of their books, sorry. And of course, non-genuine interactions, because the conversations, they don't go deeper than just, it will usually be like cheesy pickup lines or different introductions and stuff like that, and it rarely goes beyond that. Now, here's where we come in. We have reversed the roles by introducing vibe first, connect later. No swipes, no likes, all vibes. So we are allowing the users to actually have proper interactions first before they decide if they want to connect further. So here's how we work. 3 steps. The first step is vibe check, whereby our users are paired into this session, which we call the vibe check session. They can actually engage in real-time conversation in a time-limited setting to really get to understand each other. So the catch is that in this space, right, there won't be any appearances being shown. So both of them will have to engage themselves in understanding each other without knowing how each other looks like. So after the time is up, we will shift to the review, whereby we will then show a full review of the person, a full profile of the person, and that's when you can actually decide if you want to connect further. Lastly, when you click request to connect, right, that's where we actually monetize over here. So from here, right, you can understand that the conversations are already moving forward. So when you connect further, right, you can continue the conversation from there as well. So of course, we are also looking at enhancing this entire process with AI or ML, as well as certain gamification aspects of it, just to really make people have deeper and genuine connections overall. Now, what we do believe is quality shared experiences should be the default, because the current landscape of the online dating market or online social connection market is still not there. There's so much opportunities to really capitalize to help people build better and deeper connections. So this is our 4 core functions. Of course, our core product, match and vibe check, review and connect, will be enhanced with AI, ML, and gamification. And then another portion that we are doing is actually the date and the co-create. So what we are doing over here is we are also introducing different activity vendors or F&B vendors to encourage these users when they match to actually go out on dates through some exclusive promotions on our platform. And of course, co-creation, which we create a community whereby users are able to really share their experiences or share tips on how to better their online social experiences, to really create that whole community where everybody shares the same values all together. So that's what we are aiming at. Now, the benefits of this entire product, right, I will classify them into 3: high quality interconnectivity, better social experiences, and mental wellness, more importantly. So when it comes to higher quality interconnectivity, we strongly do believe that we are able to facilitate deeper and more genuine connections, because we allow people to have interactions before judgment. And of course, with our AI ML integration, with gamification, we will also help spice up the conversation levels and allow people to have a much accurate matching according to the vibes that they are looking for. Better social experience overall, because people actually spend that time and effort to get to know each other on a deeper level. And of course, there will be network effects, because as things grow, the value of these users contributing to the entire platform will grow exponentially. Now, mental wellness is actually a big problem in the current landscape, So what we do believe is that we are able to provide them with a safe environment for them to connect, and of course they can actually date better, date more intentionally, reject better, and get rejected properly. So I think this is something that we feel will be able to solve a lot of these mental wellness issues. Now, this is actually our business model. We are actually running on a freemium basis. So we do have in-app currencies and in-app purchases integrated into the system. So core services are actually free for all users. So they can actually subscribe they can actually pay a subscription fee to get additional benefits, such as additional preference filters when they are looking for matches. Otherwise, non-paying users, they will actually be subjected to non-intrusive advertisements that we have in place, as you can see from the examples here. Now, this is our current progress or our traction. We actually did a pre-MVP, an event we call Voyage, whereby we are trying to simulate the entire matchmaking process that we designed, and it's actually done via Zoom. So to date, we actually have more than 200 sign-ups, and we have a very high matching rate. In fact, most of the participants, they actually connected with at least one match after our event. So it's a very, very high matching rate. And then, of course, we do receive a lot of positive feedback from these users as well. They mentioned that they really enjoyed the event and they like what we are doing over here. Yeah. So as of right now, we are looking to launch our MVP this coming month, actually in a few days' time, into the app stores as well as the Android stores. So it's actually also designed for word of mouth or virality, because we do believe that, you know, by designing these integrations into our platform, right, we will allow organic growth. So let's say if I download the app, I like the app, I can actually share it with my friends who might need it as well, and then it will grow exponentially from there. That's what we do believe in. So we also have different phases that we are looking at. For phase 1, we are focused on really developing the core USP of our product and build that whole community and co-creation aspect of it. Now phase 2, we will be introducing different vendors, starting with F&B vendors, whereby we encourage these online daters to actually go on actual dates, as well as certain activities vendors. For example, some couples might look at going to, for example, skydiving together and stuff like that. And we will also be hosting events and certain blogs, for example, just to really share these experiences and share the tips to help people better their online social plus experiences. And lastly, phase 3, we will look at integrating AI ML into our system to really give people an accurate, a much accurate matching when it comes to, for example, let's say they text very quickly, or they use particular keywords such as, for example, volleyball. Like this person like to use volleyball, I like to play volleyball, and then he keeps using the word volleyball. We can actually track that out, and we match someone who shares that same interest with them. So to bring about a much accurate matching as well. So this is actually the big picture. In social plus experience market, right? Okay, sorry. In social plus experience market, right, online dating is just the beginning. So there's a lot of other ways we can actually look at when it comes to tapping into different social plus experience market. So we are just starting with online dating. We are also looking at one particular market that we see a lot of potential in, which is the jobs market, whereby we can help employers pair them up with better employees based on their own requirements and stuff like that. And another market that we have already are already tapping into is the experiences, places and dining market, whereby we integrate these vendors into our platforms. They get the online users who use our platform, they get to have exclusive promotions to go to these, for example, F&B establishments or certain events or activities vendors through our platform. So I think that's what we're looking at in the longer term vision. Yeah, so I am done. Thank you so much for hearing this speech. Now, let's move on to beta testing portion. So you can actually scan this QR code. If you're an Android user, you can scan this and you can straight away go to the App Store to download. If you are an Apple user, you have to do 2 steps. Number 1, you have to download Test Flight. And the second one is to install the SHIPP app.
Okay, we have audience who are also with us, who wants to be involved in the testing.
Sure.
So,
Can the audience see this though?
yes.
Would they be able to scan?
Yeah. But if we can live this whole thing, even better. Live this slide.
Can
Do you have the slides in the?
I?
It's not in the old slides, right?
It's not.
The URL.
I think you can just type test flight on the App Store and you can download it.
Yeah, they can type Test Flight on the App Store to
Yeah,
download it.
so whether you want
The link I can actually send individually. Let me send it right now. Send to Melvin. Okay, maybe I send to you. You can usually send it to the live stream. Any issues with installation so far?
I installed the test slide, but I couldn't install it.
Can try to scan this? Is it possible? Yeah. So this is for the test slide. This is for the app.
Can't install it.
Can't.
Yeah. People who commented.
Oh, someone commented can't install. For those who can't install, can I know if you guys are Android or Apple users?
Just simple tools.
Oh, so we do one.
People that installing, people are installing halfway.
Sorry, let me get.
You have to create an account?
Yes, please sign up. Please sign up. Create an account. Then create a profile. So when you sign up your profile, right, you all can just write in very basic information about yourself, and then you can just upload any photo that is safe for work. You don't necessarily have to update your upload your profile. Since this is just a beta testing, you can upload, like, for example, a cute cat picture, just to test things out and make sure that the system works. So do let me know once you're ready for the people live here.
Our audience are Android.
Android should be fine. You just need to search for the SHIPP app. It's on Android stores. The Google Play Store, I mean. So if you are done with decorating a profile, right, I will need your help to go to set your preferences. So for a start, right, because we don't have enough users currently on the server, it will help if you guys can indicate your preference as I am interested in everyone of ages 18 to 65, and then no ethnic preferences. Do let me know if you need help.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, the rest.
I think you also need the shop even closer.
Want to see him inside or?
I don't need to.
So I'm going to be inside.
Yeah.
I want to see the majority of the screen.
Oh.
Any issues with the audience downloading the
There is any can ask everyone questions. Any issue?
So just a reminder, when you are decorating a profile, right, you have to fill in all the fields and minimally one photo to be uploaded before we can start the test process. Yeah. So as this is a live demo, right, and a beta testing, after today, all your data will be deleted, so you all don't have to worry. Do let me know when you're done with the profile. Done. Okay. Melvin, any time? Okay. So for those who are done, right, you all can actually click the small little circle icon at the bottom. You can start to search for your match.
So we choose everyone.
Yeah, it will be everyone.
You have to be more engaging. I got feedback that not very engaging.
Okay, understand.
So you have feedback from Facebook.
Are you all still searching or? So you all should be seeing this screen screen after you click the icon when you're done with the profile. If there's a match, then they should appear.
There's a comment say that I installed and updated the profile but not able to match anyone because of the less data in the platform.
This happens actually. Because right now it's in beta testing mode, so there is very little people in the server. So the matching process might take some time. Right now we are also looking at, we are also fixing certain bugs. So there might be certain reasons why you can't find a match also.
But then you can only match if the other party is online as well.
That's right.
So you must be online at the right time.
Correct.
Together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how we look at tackling this issue, right, is we will be hosting this on a daily basis. So maybe from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and then we will inform everybody. So whoever is on the platform, the server for you to search for a match, right, will be live from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I just matched this person called Jamie. I'm accepting.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh wait, did
And then I have another person Melvin.
Oh.
Nobody.
Oh, so it
will be searching.
Okay.
Yeah. So you will suddenly see a profile appear, and if you see, just accept, and then just try to accept each other, and then we can do the vibe check session together.
Hey, my one is still looking for it very long.
Okay, you might want to look at restarting the app, because sometimes it happens on
Restarting the app
means killing the app and then trying again.
So just accept.
Yeah, just
You
accept.
only have 5 seconds
to accept.
So I cancel matchmaking.
Yeah, you can just cancel. You can just alternate tab and kill the app first, then you open again.
So after we match, then there's only like 3 minutes to buy.
Oh no, you can just click the chat button. You click the chat button, then there will be a timer over there that is about 7 minutes for you to talk to that person. Can it work?
There's only 3 minutes.
Oh, okay, no. You are still searching actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay,
Mm.
maybe some issues in the back end. So I recommend to stay on the app.
I got so like for example they have Jenny's
Yeah.
After that I have to accept.
You have to accept it within the time limit, yes.
Oh okay,
Yeah.
Accept
I saw Melvin actually.
Oh yeah. Because it's very short.
Yeah, we are aware of that issue, so we have actually looked.
Before I want to click already, change person already.
Oh yeah, it's we received feedback from our last beta testing also.
Okay.
So we are already working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be coming on the new version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I click, yeah. Okay, so I think now.
So we can have more matches.
Ah.
I put the
Heterosexual.
yeah.
Actually, I also put heterosexual, but they matched me with Jason.
Oh yeah, you can match with anybody. Cause
So it doesn't matter.
it's very little. Cause now the server not enough people, so we set everything to like everyone and stuff like that, just
so
to facilitate.
afterwards, when the app launch, then
When the app launches, everything will be you can put your own preference on. Yeah,
so they
but-
will match you according to your preferences.
Correct. It's a very generic preference because at the end of the day we want to help people because we don't know who will vibe with who well so you have to interact first.
Yeah, I got Jason again.
I got Melvin again.
Okay.
Accept.
Yeah, accept. You can only see accept is how.
Okay.
You can only chat with him for the next 7 minutes.
Yeah,
If
so
you
you-
get to know each other before the time runs.
So you can just click the chat button here
This person never reply.
and then you will see over here.
So I click chat.
Who did you match with? Sorry.
Jaga T.
Oh, Jaga is my tech lead. You can just say hi. I think he'll reply soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I said I talked to Jason and say hi and then say hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
That's right. So I just I do a quick testing with you. So it look like that, in case you haven't been able to find your match. So you can actually talk to this person for the next 7 minutes.
Okay.
So I think while since this is a live testing, right? So we don't have to talk for 7 minutes. We can just let it run for 7 minutes. So while we are waiting, right, I can take some questions if you have.
Okay.
Mm.
So I think we will go for a Q&A session.
Why 7 minutes?
Why 7 minutes?
Yeah.
We actually tested it out with our pre-MVP, it's called Voyage, right? So we first tried with 7 minutes. We feel that 7 minutes is good enough time to really know whether you want to connect further with that person. So we tried it out with 7 minutes. A lot of people say not enough. They need at least 10 minutes. So in our next version, when we release, right, we will be releasing a 10 minutes version. So instead of 7 minutes, you can actually talk to that person for the next 10 minutes. Then you will get a better gauge whether you want to connect with the person after you see their profile later. So as the timer is running over here, right? Melvin, I need you to be live with me. Yeah. So just leave the chat here. Just leave the chat open here. Let the timer run. Well, I think you got disconnected. Yeah, because for this, right, you need to be live. You need to be here with me real time. So we try not to have people like away from the keyboard and stuff like that. Yeah. So usually you have to be live for the 7 minutes, right? And then after that, we will showcase the full profile picture and the other details over there. Then from there, you can make a decision if you want to connect further. Yeah.
So if they accidentally left the chat, then there's no way for them to connect back to the same person?
Correct.
Oh.
Because it works like a game. For example, if you are playing like Mobile Legends, you have to be online. So what we are trying to do over here is we allow people to really take the time to come on this platform to really vibe check with that person in real time. So that's the beauty of our product. You do that in real time. After you connect with that person, right, after the time is up, you can talk to the person anytime. It's only that process, that 10 minutes time frame where you need to be in real time. It's like playing your Mobile Legends game like that. Yeah.
Maybe a few questions. Maybe give me your own questions. Or any question from the floor. Yeah.
I want to ask whether you can like multi-chat with different people.
For a live, let's say you are in this session, right, and you click onto this searching and stuff like that, right, and then let's say I match with you, and we are in this 7 minute session, right, I can only check with you, in this session. But once we connected further, right, you will see that, I have a different chats over here, because I already connected further with them already. So I can check with them anytime, as long as I'm not vibe checking with someone. Yeah.
So what if the person, let's say he's been connected with someone, but then, I mean, there's just no vibes, so they don't really have much of a conversation, then can he end the chat?
Yeah, you can. So actually I have it in my slides. Let me showcase over here. So over here, right, this is the process, right? After the time is up, you see the profile ready, you can decide if you want to connect. If you are not interested because it's not your chemistry, right, you can just say you are not interested. There's this button here, and then you will just move on from there.
Oh, it's like during the conversation itself?
Or during the conversation, the live chat session.
It's like 7 minutes, or later on you're moving it to 10 minutes. Let's say there's no conversation with the person, then the person wants to skip or hide and move forward or hide. Can they end or not?
If let's say the person is not even talking, right, we actually have a timer in place. So you can leave after 4 minutes. Because the 4 minutes of inactivity from the other party, you can actually leave. Or let's say if the person is like very sending inappropriate messages and stuff like that, you can actually report that profile and then you will immediately disconnect from that person. Yeah. So these are some basic safety measures we put in place as part of our MVP. Right.
There's a question from Mr. Travis here. How would your company be promoting your app to encourage active download?
Okay, so for a start, when it comes to the server-wise, right, we are looking at hosting them on a daily, specific time frame basis. So you can only vibe check with that person from, let's say, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. daily when we first launched the app. So we want to take this opportunity to consolidate all these users, right, who just downloaded the app, right, into this particular time frame, so they can all find matches faster. While doing so, we will be using a lot of social media marketing, as well as I have already reached out to a few tertiary education institutes to partner with them at the same time promote the app as a safer alternative for them to really connect with someone. So we are actually tapping a lot more efforts into social media marketing, especially on TikTok, because it's where most of our target audience are.
So what is your target audience?
So we have two main groups of target audience. So the first group that we are targeting are people who are 18 to 27. So it's like a Gen Z to millennials age, right? They are very tech savvy, and they are very open to all these online dating mechanics. So these are the people we see will likely use the app a lot more often, because we are also tapping on the virality aspect of it, especially when it comes to social networking apps. It needs to be able to have that network effects. The other target audience we have are people which we think will likely pay more for the app, for our services, which people who are 28 to 35. So these people are more stable with their life, their career and stuff like that, and they are actually looking to settle down. So they might not be so particular when it comes to appearances, preferences, for example, and they just want to find someone with a good career. As long as this person, they can actually have chemistry and stuff like that, things should work very well for them. So yeah, these are our two main target audiences.
Okay, but if this, so it's not, so what if I'm 37 and I'm not your target group now?
You still can use the app, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are saying you're targeting from 18 to 35, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So if I'm 37, I'm not your target group. Is that what you mean?
When it comes to the various marketing efforts or the user acquisition efforts, we won't be targeting these 37 people above 36. We won't be targeting, because our efforts, right, we want to really invest in a stronger ROI. So of course we will invest more in focus to 18 to 35, but you still, like, people who are above 40, even 60-year-old, you still can come in on the app, no problem. Yeah.
Okay. So because you mentioned you want to tie up with a lot of schools, will it be a consideration where the spending power of the students is lesser versus like the adults, if you're targeting primarily on the schools?
This is actually one of the issues that I personally feel when I'm using existing dating apps, because existing dating apps are actually quite expensive. Even for the super light function on Tinder, right, it costs about $5, which I don't think I want to pay for that amount of money with no guarantee, to find a match. So with that in mind, right, that's why we designed this entire pricing system, right. It's a very manageable price. So let's say after I vibe with this person, I saw the profile and I want to connect further with her, right, it's actually costing us $3. So if let's say you really want to connect this person, right, you just need to pay $3 or like 50 floats in our currencies. It's actually equivalent to $3. So it's actually very manageable. And of course, when you first join our platform, right, we are also giving a lot of perks. So you don't have to spend a single cent, at least for the first few months. So we also have certain like reward system that we put in place. So people can actually, if they still don't want to pay, right, they can actually do certain activities, such as watching an ad to earn these floats or these currencies that we have. So you can actually spend over here as well.
Mr. Krishna has a question for you.
Sure.
Actually, two questions. Number one, how is your platform different from other dating apps? And number two, how do you control fake profiles?
Fake profiles, okay. So to answer the first question, right, how is our platform different from existing dating apps? I think on every aspect, it is very different. Because the existing dating apps, right, everything is, of course, it's not real time, and it's very focused on appearances first. So we actually filter profiles through like how good looking they are and stuff like that, just to see if you can get a match. Ours is more intentional. We allow people to really take the time to let's say I'm waiting for the bus after my work. I can actually get on the app and I can start searching and I can fight with anybody. It's intentionally I'm coming onto the platform to find someone to see if I can have a vibe with, to see if I can connect further. So I think that's the beauty aspect of it. And of course,
I suggest you can walk through with us this process again for people who are not so clear with the whole process.
okay,
You see, for example, you can walk through with us like, for example, I saw someone that is, I want to match with. Then you will go into this, the vibe check, the review and the connect, right?
right,
How about this whole process? Walk through one time with us together.
okay,
Then
sure.
the screen can go closer to this one. For him to walk through. As a user, what's the difference between, for example, Tinder and SHIPP? Yeah.
Okay, sure. So I don't have the Tinder process, but what I can
No, because you told us you used to be using Tinder, right?
right. So I can briefly explain how Tinder works.
Okay.
So Tinder, they work very simply. You see the profile of that person. If you are interested in this person, you swipe right. If you're not, then you swipe left. So if let's say the person that you swipe right on also swipe right on your profile, that's when they bring about a match. That is Tinder. And that's also with a lot of existing dating apps today. So for us, it is never before seen in the market currently. How we work, we put in a generic preferences and then you start searching. It's just like you're searching for a Grab ride in real time. And then we find you your match. As long as they fulfill your match, your preference criteria, and you fulfill theirs, we will bring you into this session, which we call the vibe check session. So this vibe check session is like a live session and it's time limited. So you get to speak with this person for the next 7 minutes or 10 minutes. But the catch is you do not know how they look like. So you can actually take the time to really talk to that person in real time and see if you guys have that chemistry from there. So after the time is up, we will then do a review whereby she gets shown your profile and you get shown her profile, inclusive of how they look like. So after this point of time, after you have access or read their profile, right, you can actually decide if you want to connect with them further. So if you think that, oh, this person is actually not bad looking, and I have a great chemistry talking to her, I want to connect with her, that's when you can actually request to connect. If you're not interested in this person, you can just click you're not interested, and then you can move on to a new match session. I hope that is clear. So to answer the second question just now, right? What was the second question? Sorry.
How would your profile? How would you like control fake profiles?
Fake profiles. Okay, so the best thing when we can do with fake profiles, right? Because fake profiles they have like things like catfish, or they have like bots and stuff like that. So for us, right, since ours is a real-time matching solution, right, we are looking at being able to identify bots in real time. So if a bot, you know how bots usually communicate, right? If they text, like suddenly reply very fast in a lot of words, I think it's very easy to see out, and the people in our community can also help to report in this situation. To handle other sort of fake profiles, right, we also have a verification system whereby we are looking to implement in the future, whereby people can actually scan their actual facial features and then to see if they actually match the profile pictures that they uploaded. And from there, they will actually get a tick, a verification tick. And this is actually a solution that the existing dating apps are also using.
It's facial recognition.
Correct. Yeah, it's like facial recognition aspects of it.
But how do we know that this name is correct? For example, can I have more than one profile? For example, I registered as Mr. Tan, Tan account. Second one, I registered as Tommy. The third one is Melvin. I got 3 profiles.
Okay.
How do you know which one is me? I can have like 5 accounts, 6 accounts.
Okay, so to answer that question, right, I would be honest and tell you that we don't know, we cannot put your name as a verification to your face. Because just from your face alone, I don't know if your name is Melvin. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this one is things that we cannot handle on the spot. But the thing is, what we can deal with, right, is for every single account, it's actually tied to a Singapore phone number or to your own phone number. So if you want to create another account with the same phone number, you can actually not, you can't actually do so. So on top of that, we have facial recognition, and then the rest is really due diligence by the users themselves. So if let's say I see this girl and I see that this person, I think she's a, for example, influencer, and I know her name is like Cheryl, but she put here Karen, then I will start to be suspicious of her and see how things go from there. If let's say I can confirm that this person is actually a catfish, I will actually report this profile. So when I do report this profile, right, the back end we will actually capture the information and we will flag that out, and we can actually ban her from our platform forever. So that's the current safety measures we have as for our current MVP phase.
Okay, our next question is, Mr. Cake thinks that it's a good direction to let members try to test compatibility and ensure common wavelength before connecting. But how exactly is this achieved through AI or ML and gamification?
Thank you. So as mentioned earlier, we are looking at implementing AI ML solutions into our vibe checking system, right? So one of the aspects is natural language processing. So as I mentioned earlier, for example, we will capture certain keywords that you always use. Let's say I like to play basketball, so I will say I will share. I always talk about basketball inside these vibe check sessions. So the natural language processing system, they can actually scan out the certain keywords that I like to use, and we can actually on the back end level, we can actually match you according to someone who's using the same keywords. That's an example. Or another example would be we can actually trace the different frequency of texting rate. If let's say you are a fast texter, right, then we can actually match you with a fast texter. And if you are a slow one, we can actually match you with someone of the same speed as well. Yeah, so I hope that answers the question.
We have a comment from Mr. Trevor. He said that people with assets will like to flaunt their assets. People who are less good looking will like your feature that their face is hidden. So good looking people will not find their faces being hidden beneficial. So it seems like your app will slant towards untitled.com.
I would definitely not deny on this, to be really honest. I think different people have different preferences, especially when it comes to online dating. If you are someone who is looking for good looking people, I don't think our app is for you, to be really honest. Because we have existing dating apps out there, they are very focused on appearances. If you feel that you are someone who likes to see the appearance of the person first, please go ahead and try theirs. How we actually seek to position ourselves, right, is the fact that we want to create those interactions first before any sort of external judgment comes into play. So for everybody, right, I think we all have a particular preference when it comes to the person that we want to date, especially when it comes to how they look like. So if let's say I have an initial connection with this lady, and then I'm talking to this person already, I get to know more about this person, and afterwards when I see how she look like, as long as she's above my personal preference benchmark, right, when it comes to appearances, right, it's more of a chance that I will actually connect further with her. So to that question, right, I think everybody has a different specific preference. So of course our app is not for everybody, but what I do strongly believe is that we can actually help to create the true value that the users are not seeing on the existing dating apps. So that's my answer to the question. I want to the comment, I guess.
Okay, I think to maybe further add on, right, I think this app is not so much of like cater to whichever looking person, but more of to cater to people who wish to connect more in the term of the inner vibe first.
Correct.
Person. It does not mean that you need to be good or bad looking to actually start this whole thing. Some people are decent looking, some people are average looking, but they just value vibe first before looks.
Right.
So in other way of like putting like whether is it the person is ugly or good looking is really subjective, but it really caters for people who feel that vibe is more important before looks. Because you cannot see ugly people, then you don't come to this app. Eventually, the second step, before you even pay, you also have to see the person's photo. So I believe everyone still look at looks a certain way. At least it's average looking is fine, like what you mentioned. But that's the purpose of the photo, right? If it's really ugly, they won't not even pay you in the first place.
Right.
So the whole app will be down because no one's going to pay you anything.
Correct.
Yeah, so I feel that it's not so much of like ugly or good looking, but more of people who want to see vibe first before they connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is exactly the reason why we are about vibe first, connect later. We actually reverse the entire role. Instead of judging a book by its cover, right, we want you to read the contents of the book before you don't make any decisions. So that's when, like, for example, you go to a library. If you are a reader, right, you go to the library, you see this book interesting, you have to open to a certain page, you read the contents before you decide if you want to buy it. You don't just buy it because of how nice the book is, right? The content is what that matters. And of course, studies have shown, I think for males, we are all visual creatures. So on that aspect, right, as long as we try to talk to for example, a lady, and we have that kind of connection, right, we are more inclined to actually connect with that person on a deeper level. And for ladies, right, they are more into the intrinsic values of the matches that they are looking for. So they are not so focused when it comes to appearances. Maybe there's a certain threshold, but more importantly, it's actually the intrinsic values or the different kind of character, personality, and most importantly, the different chemistry or vibes when it comes to the match that they are looking for. Yeah.
So what if this individual, she also wants to try like vibe first, connect later, but she's an introvert, so she cannot really she don't know how to start topic, or she's a backtaster, but she also wants to try your app. Then is there any topic suggestions for her, or how to help her with this so that she can find a genuine match?
Okay, so thanks for the question. I think personally I am considered an introvert as well. So I don't really know how to hold conversations that well. So with that in mind, right, we do have certain in-chat features that we are looking at implementing. Of course, for the current MVP level, we don't have it yet. But in our next phase, when we launch the next update, right, in the next month, we are looking at implementing the in-chat prompts. So these are actually certain topics that you can actually use to engage yourself in the conversations. So we are also looking at, for example, partnering with those like game cards. You know, those cards that people actually take a look and then there's a topic of the question, then to try to get to know more about each other. So we are also looking at having that kind of collaboration. We can actually have their product as a digital product on our platform, and we can allow these users to make use of these different topics in an attempt to get to know each other better. So these are certain features that we are looking to really spice up the entire conversation and make things flow easily in that sense. Yeah.
Maybe you can go to the last slide when you talk about the stats of the progress of this business. Can I understand more about the current progress?
So the current progress is that we have about more than 500 sign-up interests in our beta testing list. Recently, we just finished our beta testing. So it was I think last Saturday actually. We just finished our beta testing, which is why we are looking to release a newer version of the MVP. So we have received a lot of very positive comments and also a lot of constructive feedback to really help improve the overall dynamics of the app. And we are actually working on it right now. So we are looking to launch the app on this month, on the 20th, on the app stores. So with that in mind, we are also looking at investing a certain amount of money into social media marketing, into user acquisition. Of course, we are considering this as a soft launch, because the current MVP product, right, we don't have revenue making features yet. So when we do implement the revenue making features, which is next month, we are looking at investing more to really acquire a larger bulk of users to come onto the platform, and we can start monetizing from them. Yeah.
So how are you going to monetize this? Just now, I can't remember you. Not sure whether if you have explained to us how do you plan to monetize this app.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go back to this.
Is it the $3 thing that I heard just now?
That's one of it, but this is actually the business model.
Okay.
So we are working on a freemium basis, meaning to say everything is free. You can actually subscribe or be a premium member, and you have to pay a monthly subscription in that sense. So maybe I can start with this portion. So the core services are actually free for all the users. The non-paying users, right, they are actually subjected to non-intrusive advertisements. So that's one revenue stream that we have over here. And then we also have a rewards or quest system that we can enable these users to earn the currencies that we have. And some of the quests are, for example, watch an ad, or let's say follow our profile, or share with 3 friends. Then we can actually reward you with that. So that builds that network effect that we're looking for. And of course, users can actually pay a subscription fee. We are looking at about $15 a month for additional features, such as a much more specific or much more accurate preference filter. We also have filters such as religion or height even that is coming on board if you are a premium member. So this will actually entice people to want to subscribe. Yeah. So of course we have in-app purchases. The most common one is the request to connect, which costs 50 floats, which is about $3. And then we also have this is actually for our second phase when we integrate the different F&B and activity vendors. Let's say we can have a promotion over here. We work with them to negotiate an exclusive promotion. They can actually use their in-app currency to redeem for that voucher to go for this restaurant, for example. And of course, the standard, you can actually exchange the in-app currency with actual cash that you are looking at. So this is actually how our business model is currently like. Yeah. Any other questions?
So currently, what is your capital structure like? Your cap table roughly? How much have you raised roughly? I want to understand a bit for the audience and what you really looking for roughly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have raised about $30,000. So 25K is actually from Enterprise Singapore.
Okay.
So Enterprise Singapore, they have evaluated our business model and decided to really support us with this grant. And then on our side, we have also threw in our own money of total 5K. So this is the current capital. In the cap table, there's actually 3 of us. So myself, Stephanie, and Sebastian. We are actually inside the cap table legally, right? And I am the major shareholder. Yeah.
Okay. So how's the other? Because I know altogether that's 50K, right? 25 first tranche and 25 in the second tranche, right? How far are you all towards the second tranche?
We because our second tranche, the milestones, we have to hit certain milestones, right? So the milestones that we initially discussed with Enterprise Singapore side, right? It wasn't as accurate. So I had a previous meeting with them. So we decided that when we launch the app and we have certain metrics that we can actually measure, right? That's when we host another meeting to rediscuss the milestones, to see a much feasible way to hit the milestones. And also, we can also request for extension from their side, just to really help us achieve that next 25K. Yeah.
Okay. So you've been doing this for how long?
Oh, I think a year, about a year plus, actually. So, gone through a lot, actually. There was a lot of different process when it comes to product development. So, initially, we
Can you look at your team?
Oh, okay, sure. click on delay. Okay, so so this is the team. So we have been doing this for about a year plus. We actually were set to launch on the February this year, before Valentine's Day, but due to some technical issues, we had to do a major restart. And yeah, finally we are able to come out. Because the current situation.
Okay. So what is your objective now? What are you trying to achieve now, and what's your next milestone? Because just now you actually showed us what you have done, right? So what do you want to do now? For example, are you going to raise funds now, or what are you trying to achieve now?
Okay, so
You can show us the last slide. Then maybe you can tell us what do you want to achieve now? Yeah, what do you want now?
this slide. Wait. It's lagging. Okay, so is this slide?
Yeah.
Progression wise, I think for a start we are looking at really focusing all our efforts into launching a product. As long as it's a smooth launch, we are fine with it. So from that point onwards, when we do launch the product, we are looking at measuring it for the next 30 days. So we have already set a particular KPI that we are looking at measuring, and one of which is how many times people actually click on the request to connect further. So we can actually get a rough estimation of activities or in terms of like how many people looking to pay with our feature. So this is actually used for us to reach out to investors when we are doing our fundraising. So when we do launch the product, we are also fundraising at the same time.
Okay, but now the issue is there's too little users for people to connect. Because if very little, I only see you, see her, see people that's few people. Then I wouldn't want to click connect and pay money just because the user is so little.
Exactly.
So how are you going to reach your first dollar on that scale of like so small?
Okay.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, right, because now we haven't really launched the product. So I think I will just speak like that. Yeah. So we haven't really launched the product. So the product is in beta testing mode as of right now. So it has not been released to the public yet. So only people who are invited can actually test the app. So when we really fix all the bugs and stuff like that, when we do launch the app already, right, it will be available for public to download and start using. So from there, we invest more marketing efforts to really get people on board. The catch is we are actually opening the servers to a daily 3-hour session. So like for example, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
3 hours is too short even to get user, right?
No, everybody will be consolidated on a daily basis, 3 hours. So the users will still be exposed to the ads. They can actually download the app, but they cannot vibe check at all because we have set a specific time frame for them to vibe check. So we want to consolidate all the users into this specific time frame so that they can easily find matches in that sense. So yeah. So it will grow exponentially as time goes by. Then we are looking at opening up the servers to more time frame as we grow along.
Okay, I think we have another question from Mr. Sanjay Nauka.
Sure. Okay, yes, sorry, what's the question?
Okay, so Mr. Sanjay asked, prior to Saradin's question about the achievement, and SHIPP is also targeting revenue mostly from users with in-app purchase and in-app currencies. So what is your average revenue per user before they get married?
For this current stage, we don't have any accurate measurement. So whatever numbers that I'll be throwing out, right, is actually based on statistics by existing dating apps. I cannot give an accurate number simply because we haven't launched the product and we haven't been able to measure the actual dynamics of this product. So what I'm looking at on the market, on Singapore market alone, right, the average revenue per user is about $10, in fact. So it's actually quite high given the number of people who don't pay on the market. So if they do pay, it actually is about $30 to $80. Based on our research, we actually know that some of these dating app users, right, they are actually paying more than $20 to $30 every month to access existing dating apps, premium features. So on an average, it's about $10 per user. So with that in mind, we are looking at an estimation of about 15, or maybe for a start, we can actually look at about $10 also, in that sense, as part of our forecast. Right, I hope that answers your question.
Are we able to search the members? For example, just now I saw, for example, Jason, right? Next time I go in, I saw that. Can I search your name?
No, as of right now, we haven't been open to this searching function yet, but we are open to exploring it on a later phase. For a start, we are only limiting it to whoever is real-time online at that point of time, then you can actually find a person.
Do you know why I'm asking this question?
Not sure.
There's a hack to this app for not paying. If I have already seen your face, okay, I want to talk to you next time. This time I don't pay. The next time I go and search you, I go and talk to you, I ask for your number.
Also can, yeah. That has actually came up before. In fact, in our pre-MVP, it happened before. So someone actually asked for the other person's number.
Correct. Because for example, I met this person, I want to talk to her. Then now I saw your photo already. I want to match you, but I just don't pay. Next time I go in, I search your name, right? Then I go and get the number. Then I don't have to pay anything.
Number one barrier is whether she will give you the number. The second barrier is the fact that since this is actually, we are focusing on safe environment right here, right? So if people are vibe checking in that space, right, usually they don't want to give their number to a stranger they have never talked to before. And of course, if they still do give their number or Telegram handle, let's say, we have a system in place to just warn these people. Oh, we detected that you are passing your contact to this person. We just want to let you know that to be safe, right? Please refrain from doing so.
How are you preventing this from happening? You cannot prevent, right?
Yeah, we cannot prevent, and we cannot restrict as well. So this is actually up to individuals already. But usually, when it comes to vibe checking, right, you don't know how they look like. So you wouldn't give your number to someone you haven't even seen the face before. And that is a very, how do I put it? If let's say I'm talking to a stranger, right, even though I can talk to this person we have good vibes, right, but I don't know how she looks like.
But we can be, for example, I can talk to, I saw Kapi, I talked to her. Then after that, I saw her photo. Let's say, but I don't want to pay money. So the second time I search for her, I talk to her again. Then she also knows it's me, okay? Because we know each other's username. Then we talk to each other second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. Then we are more familiar already. Then we decide to exchange number. Then we can actually
bypass the
system and we can just chat out of this app.
I think.
Yeah. So it's very hard. This is a way that you can bypass the system.
Right. But the likelihood of that happening is very low, actually. So we do have in place some system whereby after you have connected with this person or you have rejected this person, right, she won't appear in the profile at least for a certain amount of time.
No, because I'm searching her.
If let's say we have a search function.
I'm searching her. Then she.
Okay.
Yeah, then she know who I am. That sort of thing.
Understand.
Example just trying to see if you want to bypass the system, there is a way to do that, right?
Right. We are exploring the search functions. Of course, with this MVP phase out, right, we are also open to receiving a lot of feedbacks from the users, from the testing.
Okay.
So whatever they suggest, we actually do take all these comments seriously and we try to figure a way out to integrate to the system. So if we can find a way to integrate a search feature that is safe for everybody to use, we definitely will do so.
Okay. Or could be you don't have any search function at all.
Right.
Then it will solve a lot of the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually that also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Luke thinks that the app looks good, and then Mr. Krishan has another question, which is your app customizable to add more features in future, and what's your IT development team size?
Okay. Yes, it is customizable. The current team size is 2. When it comes to the tech side, we have a tech lead, which is Jaga. He's managing this project development. Of course, I'm also very actively involved in the product roadmap as well. And then we have a developer that's helping us with the entire development and the different phases of this product that we are looking to release. Yeah. Any more questions? No, okay. Maybe to add on to the final question, right? Before we close this section, I guess. When we do raise funds, we are also looking at expanding the team and really honing and bringing in more like talents to help us with the business development as well as the technical development. So that's the purpose of why we are raising funds in the first place.
So what are you looking for in this pitch? You haven't shared with us because are you looking for some certain form of like mentorship, certain form of fundraising, safe note, or you are looking for marketing, or what exactly you are roughly looking for?
I think the main objective of today's pitch is really to get exposure. The second objective is to be raising funds actually. So we have actively been looking for fundraising options out there, and I've actively been speaking with a lot of potential investors here and there. I think the objective is to really raise funds to a certain amount where we feel that we can actually to some extent sustain and move forward from there. So we are open to safe notes actually. So in terms of equity wise, I don't think at our current stage it will be a wise decision to really exchange a certain amount of investment for an equity, unless it is a sizable amount of investment. But with this current stage, we really don't know our actual valuation. So it will be much better if we have a safe note agreement where we can actually decide on a future valuation as things progress. Yeah.
Okay. So how much are you all looking for?
We are looking to raise 300,000 for our seed round. So when it comes to angel round, we are open to raising about 150k for a start. But definitely we need to shift to a seed round, and then from there we try to fight for a Series A as we continue exploring that product market fit. Yeah.
So I think just now Trevor is actually saying that which I think is I agree with. The first problem is the sign-ups. If there is not enough user, not enough sign-up, the whole group will be very small. Then everyone cannot match. Then when people cannot match, we cannot even monetize it from the start. So so you mentioned that you are going to school to start, right?
Yeah, school and social media.
So how fast do you think you can actually expand just by school and social media only with a limited budget now?
I think, which is also one of the reasons why we are exploring TikTok marketing, because TikTok has a higher likelihood of getting viral. We personally have a few of our TikTok videos viral as well. So we are looking at these forms of viral marketing, especially on TikTok. So we are investing more efforts into creating that virality element so that we can get a bang for our buck, as well as a word of mouth that we really design into our UI UX already for our product. So it will help facilitate these users to share this entire app to their friends. If they actually find value in using the app as well, they can also share with their friends and stuff like that. So I think the app itself is built to have that network effect, along with our little budget of investments into social media marketing, especially on TikTok. And also one last portion is we are also looking at guerrilla marketing, basically a low budget but potentially high returns kind of exposure. And I have also tied down with a particular PR agency, one of the top PR agencies in Singapore, to really help us, tell at least the whole of Singapore about this. So I think, especially with a dating app like this that's never before seen in the market, I think there's a lot to talk about at the very least. So I'm pretty confident with myself and the team in helping to grow this and getting the users to use it. Yep.
Okay, I have no more questions. Last question, anyone from the or Facebook who have any last questions? Okay, there's no question. I think thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing my pitch.
Thank you.
Please support.
Okay, thank you.